I'm bleeding all over my pants. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is embarrassing. Hi guys, welcome back to another girl talk. Today we're going to be focusing on the menstrual cycle, your period, and I'm just going to give you some tips that'll help you out, girl, because I already know it's a trying time. And let's get right into it. My first tip when it comes to like your menstrual cycle, your period, is to keep panties that are designated just for your cycle. So you don't want to use like your Victoria's Secret panties. I mean, you can do what you want to do, but for me, like, I don't like to use my Victoria's Secret panties or like any like specialty lacy panties, because you don't want to ruin them, because there's a chance that you could like leak onto them, or just like, you just want to have some comfortable panties that'll make you feel comfortable during that time. So you can get just some, you know, all white cotton panties, or just any type of cotton panties that are loose, not like super tight fitting on you, that'll make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel like dirty or whatever, and just something that'll like still allow air to come through if you're not wearing pads and stuff like that. Okay. Tip number 2 is, let's say that you do go ahead and like you're wearing a tampon and you leak out, or you're wearing a pad and you still get like leakage, or you bleed through your pad and it gets onto your panties. You can use cold water and a little bit of soap, and that'll get the water out. I mean, that'll get the blood out of the panties very easily. So you'll take the stained panties, and you want to do it like as soon as you can. Like, let's say it's like, you don't want to wait to the end of the day, because it'll be harder to get it out. But like, as soon as you like see that it's leaking and there's blood on your panties, go ahead and run it under some cold water. That'll start to get the blood out. And then just rub a little like laundry detergent or whatever on it with the cold water, and it'll take the stain right out of your panties. Like, I promise you, like, it works so good. Like, I never really experienced cramps, but I know a lot of people who do, and there's a lot of different things you can take or do to help alleviate your pain from cramps, whether it's taking Midol or ibuprofen or like Tylenol maybe. But then you can also use a heating pad on your stomach. I know a lot of girls that use heating pads while they're laying down and stuff like that. And then you can also, I read that eating bananas helps to alleviate pain from cramps, so you can definitely try that. Aside from that, you can try things like drink lots of water to keep your body hydrated. You can do light exercises like yoga, which I've read is really good at like helping relieve the pain, stretch your body out and things like that. So something light. I mean, you could work out like normal, but like light yoga, I think, is supposed to help with cramps. Okay, number 3 is to be prepared, because sometimes, like, especially when you first start having periods, you might not be like very sure of when you'll start, or it might not be regular, because for a long time I didn't have regular periods, especially like right after I had my daughter. But one thing you want to do is just be prepared. So in my purse, I keep pads in like the little side pocket of the purse, where you like put the like where you have like the pockets on the side, and then I also keep like a pouch like this, and this is just a pouch for my job. You can use any type of pouch. You don't even have to use a pouch. You can use a baggie. You can use like a little box or something, just something to keep your things in. And in this, I usually keep tampons. I keep quite a few tampons in there, and then in this little container right here, this has like pain medication in it, because I don't get cramps, but I get pain in my back, and I get like vaginal like pressure, and it hurts really bad. So I just keep pain medication in here, so that I always have that on hand, so I don't have to go and ask someone and then not have it, and then have to go to the store because if I'm at work I really can't leave or something like that. So this comes in clutch. And also, you don't want to be out and about, you don't have a pad, you don't have a tampon. I also use a menstrual cup. So you don't have your menstrual cup, and then you're like, I'm bleeding all over my pants. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is embarrassing. But let's see, you feel a little blood coming out. You feel like you're about to start your period. You're already prepared, because you have these in your purse at all times. And then even if you know that your period's coming, let's say it comes early, or let's say it stops and then it starts again. Like, you just want to be prepared for anything. Like, you could keep like a kit with like pads, tampons, extra panties, just little things to keep you prepared. So if you're out and about, or you're someone's house or anything like that, you know you're covered. Like, you got yourself covered. You don't want to be out and not have what you need, and then you can have like an embarrassing moment where your pants are all bloody because you didn't have what you needed. You know what I mean? And then you don't want to be out and in pain, and you could just have, you know, stuff on hand. Everybody's body is different. Every woman has different reactions to their period, and before your period you might get symptoms that it's coming, and that is called PMS, or premenstrual symptoms. And so everybody, you know, gets different things. A lot of us get like the same things, but you might not have all of the same things, or you have more symptoms than someone else. So some of those symptoms include abdominal pain. You can get headaches. Some people get migraines. People like me, I get really bad back aches, like lower back aches, right above where your butt is, not too high up. It's like really like a dull pain, and it's like it's really irritating. It hurts really bad. Some people sweat a lot. Some people get really irritable. That's why, like, when you hear people saying, oh, she must be PMSing, oh, this, that, and the third, she might be PMSing. I mean, it's normal, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Some people get muscle pain. Some people get sick and nauseous and vomit, which I've never had that, but I know someone who has had like nauseousness before their period. And some people get really, really bad fatigue, where you're very tired. You also might feel like tenderness in your breast. You might just, you might have like tenderness or like soreness in your nipples. And that's just relative to each person. Everybody's body's different. They're all normal things. So it's nothing to be worried about. It's nothing to be afraid of, especially if this is like your first time experience PMS symptoms. It's all normal. Your body's going to react, and your body changes as you get older too. So like there's certain things that used to happen to me that don't happen to me before, don't happen to me now. There's some things that before a baby never happened to me and happen to me now. Your body changes, your PMS symptoms change, your periods change. Sometimes they get lighter, sometimes get heavier, but they're all normal things, and there's nothing to be worried about. Okay, number 6 is you have to choose the period products that work best for you. So there's lots of different things like tampons, there are pads, there are menstrual cups, there are menstrual panties. There's so many things. There's scented, which I don't recommend ever using any scented products. So make sure that you're paying attention to the packaging, whether it says it's unscented or scented, because you don't want to be putting scented tampons, scented pads there, and that can really throw off your pH and cause different things like yeast infections and stuff like that. But there's scented and unscented. There's pads that are bigger and smaller. There are all natural, organic, chlorine free. Those are the type I like to use. The one I use, hold on, let me go get it. Okay, this one's almost gone, but I get these from Target. It's by the brand L, and it's organic cotton tampons with BPA free plastic applicators, and there's no rayon, chlorine, bleaching, or synthetic pesticides. So I use Super because I have a really heavy flow, but it comes in a little container like this, and the tampons look like this. So they're kind of thick because I use Super tampons. I have like a really heavy flow, but these are organic cotton, and it's just like, it doesn't have chemicals in it, but you don't have to use these. Until this year, well, until my last cycle, I was using like 10 packs or something like that. Or I also use, more times than this or any other tampon, I use a menstrual cup. I didn't use them last time because I had really long nails, and I didn't want to be putting my nails and all that material into my vagina, so I was just using tampons. But for the most part, I use a menstrual cup, and when you do use a menstrual cup, it does entail you like putting your fingers kind of inside, because you have to guide it up to your up there. But I like those because you don't have to change them as often. It catches the blood, and it makes my period so much lighter, and I don't get the vaginal pressure down there. So I really, really like a vaginal cup. If you guys like to see a video on that, I'm probably going to make one, because I really don't use these anymore. I use these sometimes. Like I said, I had really long nails on, so these came in clips because I wasn't trying to, put my long nails up my vagina or whatever. But you can do a vaginal cup, you can do, or a menstrual cup, you can do tampons, you can do pads, you can do menstrual underwear. I've never tried those, but I know like that's a thing. You just have to figure out what works for you. I know pads don't work for me because I don't like feeling like I'm sitting in my blood, and like also I don't like feeling like I'm wearing a diaper. So that just was never for me. I'll just use a tampon and a panty liner, or I'll use my menstrual cup and a panty liner. So number 7 is that you need to figure out what your flow is like. So some people have a super, super light period where it's like barely anything, or it's like nothing that you really have to use extra precaution for. Like you can just use a normal or a light tampon or a normal or light pad and you're good. Then there's some people who have like heavier flows. Like, so there's like a light flow, there's normal, there's heavy, there's super, there's overnights, because there's some people who have like really, really heavy flows. Like my mom and I have very heavy flows, so I typically use things that are super. Even with my menstrual cup, I use the one that's like size for either if you have like a really heavy flow or you've already had children. I've had both. So I do have a heavy flow. I use things that are like usually like super. They have super plus, which I don't necessarily need super plus, but they do have that, or they have like normal. Most things will tell you what you need. It gives you like measurements. Yeah, this doesn't have it on there, but on the side of the tampon box, it'll tell you like how, like, for each flow, so whether it's light or normal or heavy or like super plus or whatever, it'll give you like a little measurement so that it'll help you know. And I know you're probably not like, oh yeah, I know I believe 80 milliliters, but you can use it as a general rule. And you can start off with something like normal, and then if you feel that you're like soaking through them or you're like leaking out of them or something like that, you know you probably need like a heavier flow. You need like a heavier duty one. So like, let's say you get a normal one and you're soaking through them, and you should be, and you're still changing them at a regular time frame, you might want to go to like a super or something like heavier. Okay, number 8 is you want to make sure that you're being very hygienic during your cycle, your menstrual cycle, so that whether that be like taking showers daily like you should be doing. Sometimes you might have to take showers twice a day. You want to make sure that you are freshening up. You can use like baby wipes. Just making sure you're changing your pad regularly, or your tampons regularly, or your menstrual cup regularly, because you don't want, you don't want to be a mess. You don't want to have blood everywhere. You don't want to be dirty, but you also don't want to smell, because obviously when you're bleeding there is a smell. It shouldn't be like a bad smell, but if you're leaving your tampon in too long, or you're leaving your pad on too long, you don't want it to start smelling bad. You know what I mean? You don't want to smell like you're on your period. Like, you just want to make sure that you're being hygienic. Make sure you're cleaning yourself regularly, once or twice a day. Even if it's just freshening up, you can use some baby wipes, and just make sure that you are paying attention and making sure that you are being hygienic. Tip number 9 is I like to use a panty liner throughout the duration of my period. Obviously, if you're wearing a pad, you don't want to use a panty liner too, because that doesn't really make sense too. But let's say you're using a tampon or a menstrual cup, you can definitely use a panty liner on your panties. Just so that you know that, like, if you do start to leak out or something, it'll catch it. Some people like to wear like a tampon and a light pad or something, but a panty liner should do the trick. It's like really thin. You really can't feel it at all. It doesn't have the wings on it like a pad. It just goes on the little middle part of your panties, and that'll just catch anything like any blood that might spill out or anything. And you might not have anything on it, but just for extra protection, and it makes me feel safer. Like, I'm not going to get anything on my pants. So that's definitely something you can do to reduce any risk of getting your panties dirty. Okay, and my last and final tip number 10, is to keep a period tracker. So you don't necessarily have to keep a period tracker, but I do think that it's very helpful. So a period tracker, what it does is you log your period every month, and then it starts to get it down to like predictive cycle. So let me show you. I have the one that's called Eve, but they also have one called Flow. Well, they have lots of different ones, but I just use Eve because I've been using it since high school, and it already has like my period and everything like in it, so I don't feel the need to try something else. But in the app, it'll tell you like how many days you have until your next period. You can log your symptoms, you can log your sexual activity, you can log all different types of things. All right, guys, that is all for my video, and that's all 10 tips to help you throughout your period, your menstrual cycle. I hope that this video was very helpful to you ladies, especially for someone who might be starting their period for the first time or just didn't know these things. You know, big sis Mya got you, girl. But yeah, I'll be back with another Girl Talk video because I really enjoy doing these, and I hope you guys have a great one. Okay, bye.